The next extension that you've got is the update extension. So the update extension happens after. So you've got, whatever business logic has executed, and now you can do more stuff. You can grab extra data, you can make changes, and that happens, before you're displaying the data. Now, sometimes you're just redisplaying data on that given panel. Sometimes a new panel is getting called, a new page is getting called. And in that case, you would have there's a typo on there. That meant to say a display extension or pre-display extension. So right before it is displayed, the panel is displayed, you have a chance to change things or add more things to it. So you have incredible power here. Now, again, these Groovy scripts, you can do anything you want. You don't have to use hyperservices. The reason you do want to use hyperservices is not just because the cost and complexity is reduced and it's very simple, everyone can read the logic, but you've got full management. Remember, our virtual machine is managing all these hyperservices, and you've got a whole suite of management tools. You've got full visibility into what executed. If something goes wrong, you'll know exactly where it went wrong, what step, even what the data was flowing into that hyperservice component and what the error was going out. So you've just got really good management and performance. We always get back to performance, but I don't want to trivialize that one. That's a big deal. Sometimes whole projects get canned because the performance isn't adequate for the end user. And sometimes if you're doing batch integrations, you might not care, but if you've got an end user waiting on the other end, that's really important. So you got that little automated multi-threading. Anyway, pretty exciting stuff. I'd like to now lead with questions on what I've presented, but also if anyone wants to share customizations they're thinking of or ask questions about, we're thinking about this specific customization, where does that fit in this? I'm just going to open up to you guys. Yeah, Lori.
Well, might be more a question for Dave, so I'm not sure. Will all the panels have user exits or just certain ones?
They'll all have Groovy exits.
Okay.
So user exits are different because it jumps significant sections of code and just moves it out of the way. Whereas Groovy, you're modifying the base logic. Got it?
So with that being said, will all panels have the capability, if I wanted to be able to look into how the Groovy script call?
Yes.
Yeah.
So all
Yes,
be able
all
to
of
have
them.
all panels.
All of them.
Yeah, everywhere you see the word Groovy script, it means you can call a hyperservice. And Ventix has actually made that easy for you. It's a one-line, call to call the hyperservice.
You guys write that down. Never heard that phrase. Ventix has made it easy.
Yeah, so there's your little Groovy script. Yeah, so every time you see Groovy script. Now, Groovy script is wide open. You can do it other ways too. It's now a wide open field for you to do what you want to do. But we hope that it's more efficient. We believe it's more efficient, cost effective, and you've got management built in if you go this route. So you've got a suite of tools supporting you. If you do call the hyperservices. Any other?
I have two questions. One was first. Customization or tailoring that you showed. You guys mentioned something about an adding a field and then popping up the calculations.
Yeah.
Is that to an existing panel or is that to a new workflow type field?
The question was, I had mentioned at the beginning calculating the total estimated cost and displaying that. And the question was that displaying it to an existing panel or was that to a new workflow? And the answer is to an existing panel. So that was a tailoring example where on the work order, the M100 panel, they added a field to show the total estimated costs over the entire work order. So for all the MRs on all the tasks that are on that work order, I believe, Jim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they also added it to the task panel, the M101. So yeah, They also added it to the M101 panel, and that one showed the estimated cost calculation for just the MRs on that one given task.
So did they have to add a button to execute as well?
No, it just added a field. So what happened was before the panel displays, the hyperservice that does the calculation executes. So it's actually, let me show you in this picture doesn't show, but this extension that says update that actually should say pre-display. Is it pre-display?
Yeah.
Was this NetSuite 9 that example?
Yeah, well, no, it's not. So I shouldn't show you this slide. Okay, let's show you a better slide. It's a good question. Yeah, no, it's not Asset Suite 9. I was just looking for a slide I could show you where we stuck it. Basically, in FA, when you're using Compose, you have the ability to call a hyperservice before the panel's displayed or after some event has taken place, like a button has been pressed. And this was before. No, it's through their Compose, the FA tailoring, XML, just the same tool. Do you use Compose?
Yes.
Currently? Yeah, just
We had some training relatively new. We only did a few things with it. But one of the things they said was you cannot add a new field to an existing panel.
really?
Yes.
No, that.
We are explicitly told. There's no way to get data.
I'd like clarification on that too. We have to learn from someone.
Well, I can tell you it's been done. So, and David's shaking his head no.
Yeah, let's be clear. You can
Christian.
add you can paint the screen however you want.
Right.
If the panel doesn't have that data available, which in Sandy's case it doesn't, right? They used hyperservices to develop that data and put it into that field.
Right.
If that data isn't available, you're not going to get it through Compose, right?
Right.
So you can't take data that's somewhere else, isn't open, you have no access to it in the panel, and put it on the panel with Compose. You can create a field, and if you have access to that data, you can populate it. Or you can do what Sandy did, is paint a field, have it calculate that data, and populate that field with the data that's calculated. Right? Okay. So what she did, what they told you is true, right? You can't get that data. You don't have it.
Yeah.
But with the hyperservices, what they did is they painted the field, they went out, they called the service went and got the data, populated the field, and it's on Compose.
Right. We asked if there's any way to do that at all, and there was
What version of FA are you on? Maybe it was.
503.
Oh, wow. Krishnan.
No.
Krishnan can give us the definitive answer. Can you tailor panels and call hyperservices? So we were talking about, officially, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice to be able to, get trained when you ask those questions. It would be nice, if the person out there would be able to at least give you an option of how you can do it, not just say it's not possible. And then you start asking around, and you get told that you need to talk to, the services department. You need to get somebody on from there, and get any support on that type of stuff. If you're told you need to go to, your service, your consulting services, you can drive right to there, and then you ask them, and then, well, what do you need, and then nothing happens. So, I would like to talk to them.
What's the best route for us to learn how to do it? We have a lot of examples of the data design. Definitely recommend going and looking at data design. Every single scenario is how to build a service, how to write a new flow and stuff like that should be available in Google. And if opposed to ask the data design access right there in the discussion, opposed to
So Taylor got to tell you how to, well, I know I couldn't feel it, how to call the service.
How to call the service.
Yes, it tells you how to tailor a view to add a button. The button can actually launch a flow, which has services.
That's what I just asked, they use the button to launch a flow, and it's no.
This was a field. They actually didn't add a button. They added a new field to display the.
That's what I'd like to do is not have
Yeah.
that. So I understand you could always take anything and you go push a button. It doesn't feel that after the
Did-
flow was done, but this was a button. So I understand that. But I think it's a little bit more. 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 It's
Did they do something creative? Or